Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahabihi ajma'een. In the name of God, the All-Merciful, Most Compassionate. All praise is due to Allah, God, the Lord of the worlds, and peace and prayers upon His Prophet and slave Muhammad, his companions and his family. Once again, starting with the intention of Imam al-Haddad from the syllabus. Ya Fattahu, Ya Alimu, Iftah lana Fathan Qariba. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير وابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. O Opener, O All-Knowing One, grant us an opening soon. In the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the Compassionate. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and blessings and peace upon our Master Muhammad, his family and his companions. I intend to study and teach, to remember and remind, to profit and bring profit, to benefit and bring benefit, to encourage holding fast to the Book of Allah and the way of His Messenger, to call to guidance, to direct towards good, and to aim for the countenance of Allah and His pleasure, His nearness and His reward, exalted be He. Alhamdulillah. So up till now we've gone through, let's go through the alphabet together, once or twice, okay? Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, دال ذال راء زاي سين شين صاد ضاد. Good. Now all of us together. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Val, Ra, Zay, Sin, Shin, Sad, Dad. Okay, good. So that's how many letters? How many letters? Anyone counting? I'll give you a minute. Fine. Close. 10. 15. Good. 15. How many letters are in the alphabet? Arabic alphabet total? 20. 28. 28. Good. So 15 of 28, which means we're more than halfway done. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Everyone say Alhamdulillah. See, so we've gone through. It's been, been going relatively fast, but inshallah we'll get done in the next few weeks with the main things in the alphabet, and then use the rest of the time. Let's see, according to the syllabus, 4 sessions we have for going through and really applying that. So then looking at some Quran, looking at some looking at some Arabic resources that we can actually think about getting into some things and doing well in this language, inshallah. So, put a few words up on the board here. Wanted to go over a few points. So first of all, the first one up here on the right, we talked about. I talked about this word with most of you here. Just go over it quickly again. So the first letter is what? Dad, right? Sad, if Sin, Shin, Sad, Dad, right? In the order of the alphabet, is it's a well-designed thing because it goes from letters that don't have dots to letters that do have dots in the order, and it goes from letters with fewer dots to letters with more dots, or actually a better way to put it, letters with dots under the line, then no dots, then above the line. So for example, we have ba, ta, tha, right? We have with ba, there's a dot under the line, ta, 2 dots over the line, tha, 3 dots over the line. Similarly, jim, under the line, ha, no dots, kha, 1 dot over the line, right? So when we say sin, shin, sad, dad, we know that sad doesn't have a dot, and then after it comes dad, which does have a dot. Dad has a dot, right? So this one is what? Good. Dad. So 3 letters in this word. We have dad, then alif, then ra. And what's on the ra? Ashadda, right? Which means the ra is doubled, right? So it's not just, if it were this, it would be just bar, right? Bar. Everyone say for me. Dar. Bar. But there's a shadda on it. So it's dar, right? Everyone after me. Dar. Dar. Right. The ra here is a bit tricky since it is doubled, but we want to, correct the most proper form of Quranic pronunciation. We don't roll the r. We don't go rrr, right? It's just dar, right? Anyway. And then the second one, everyone after me. Basir. Basir. Right. Any questions on that specifically? Okay. Now this one, 4 letters here, what are they? Right. This is a sin. Notice how I'm doing it in the way that's typically written, handwritten, not with all the teeth there. So sin, then what? Alif, and then ba, and what's on the ba? Kasra, and then sad. Right. So, when we think about this alif, we know that if we were to write it out, if we were to write it out in English transcription, it would be 2 A's to show that it's a long vowel, right? Doubly long, double the length of a short vowel, a fatha, which is just a. But we know that alif has 2 different sounds. It can sound, normally it sounds like what? If alif is just in its normal position. But after emphatic consonants, it sounds how? Sounds like ah. So what are the emphatic consonants that we've gone over so far? You want to tell me? Okay, everyone raise your hand when you hear an emphatic consonant. I'm going to go through the alphabet. So raise your hand when you hear an emphatic consonant, okay? Alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha. Good. Kha, right? Because it's not kha, kha. Dal, val, ra. Good. Zay, sin, shin, sad, Good. Bod. Okay, right. So far of the emphatic consonants we've had kha, ra, sad, and bod. This alif, does it come after an emphatic consonant or no? No, it doesn't. Seen is not emphatic. So often what happens is that some native speakers will also this also happens when they're pronouncing words, that if there's one emphatic consonant, what's the emphatic consonant in this word? A sad, right? We have a sad here. Oftentimes when we're pronouncing words and we're pronouncing them quickly, if there's one emphatic consonant in the word, we let it affect everything else. But with the best pronunciation, with the most proper Quranic pronunciation, only when a vowel comes after an emphatic consonant does that mean that it gets changed in any way. So the best way to pronounce this one, the fatha is on the ba, which is non-emphatic, so it's basir, basir. Everyone say for me, basir, basir. Though this is kind of tricky. I mean, the sad does often kind of affect it that way. When we say it quickly, we often say basir, basir. So that fatha here is almost like an ah, because it's being affected by the sad. But the best way to pronounce it, basir, basir, basir. But it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. Anyway, but this one clearly is. This one's a lot more clear because it comes after the seen. So it's not sabis, but right, sabis, sabis. So if we were to write this out in English transliteration, we'd see that we have what in English are basically two different S's, one at the beginning, one at the end, right? So the first one is s, second one s. It's kind of tricky to hear for now, but we still need to pay attention to that. But this one is a stronger sound than the one at the beginning. So sa, everyone listen, sabis, sabis, sabis. If we were to put a fatha on here, it would be sabisa, sabisa, sabisa. Everyone say for me, sabisa, sabisa. Okay, good. Any questions on that? Okay, now one final point. I'll go over this word here, dubbi, dubbi, dubbi. Made up word, but alhamdulillah. Okay, first we have a dal, and then what? A dhamma, right? And then what? Ba. Right. It's not going to be two bas together, but the ba is doubled, so it's going to be. We have a shadda on the ba, right? And then what's the final thing that we have? Kasra. Right. Now where are we going to put the kasra? Anyone remember this? Underneath the shadda. Right. So it actually goes on top of the letter, above the letter itself, but under the shadda. Normally the kasra would be completely under the letter, but when we have a shadda, it goes under the shadda, right? Everyone say for me, dubbi, dubbi, right? I mean, it's not really a made-up letter. Dub is ba in Arabic, so dubbi. I mean, yeah. I won't go into details of the last consonant there, but or the last short vowel there. But anyway, everyone see that? Important note to make just about shadda. When we have a kasra with shadda, kasra goes under the shadda, but it's above the letter itself. Right. Okay, alhamdulillah. And there's some good stuff. Some exciting sounds, exciting letters this week. Even though it's exciting every week, actually, I shouldn't be saying that. Okay, so 2 sets of letters today. 2 sets of letters and 1 extra kind of symbol to go over. So first, last week we went over the sod and the dad, right? Which is the sod is like pretty much the emphatic equivalent of the seen, right? Sod versus seen. Now what we have is 2 letters that are the emphatic equivalents of 2 letters we've already seen. First we have the Dhaa. Everyone say for me, Dhaa. Dhaa. So Dhaa is pretty much to ha what sod is to seen. Right? It's a capital T. That's in my system of writing, though you might see a T with a dot under it or something like that. Right? Emphatic T. So it's like a ta, like a t, like we have in English, like a T, but the mouth, the tongue kind of fills up as much space as it can inside the mouth. Once again, ta, ta, ta. This is the top of the mouth. The teeth are right here. Here's the tongue. So normally when we say ta, this is the tongue. Ta, ta. But for the ta, tongue is filling up more of the area inside the mouth. So everyone say ta, 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 ta. Now pa, 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 pa. Now the way I'm seeing it, I'm kind of feeling the sides of my tongue and all in my tongue. It's filling up more of the space up there. Pa, pa, pa. Most important thing is that when alif comes after this, it's ah, not a, right? So that's the sound. The way to write it is, it almost looks like a sod or a dad, only it doesn't have the tail, and it has something extra as well. There we go. Alone, beginning of word, middle of word, oops, end of word. Okay. The pa is just like we started with the sod or the dad. We make that similar kind of loop back. That's narrower on the left and rounder, more curved on the right. So we make that, but we stop there. We make the curve and go a little bit past the curve on the line. You see there's this section right here. It's a little bit past the curve. And then right after that curve, we have a vertical, a vertical line going down. I'll do it one more time. Curve out, a little bit past where we started, then line down. Looks like a what? Like a B almost, yeah. Important things to realize. A B we would write like this. First of all, there needs to be this area extending more out here, and the circle of it needs to be narrower on the left and more curved on the right. Right. Yeah, do you have a question, Stephanie?
After we do the vertical line, should we still be able to see the ending part?
Yeah. Good question. When we put the vertical line on, we put the vertical line right after the loop, so that we still see this part that's I'm pointing to with this arrow. we still see this part that extends a bit beyond the loop. Good question. Okay, so when it's at the beginning of a word, this letter does connect all of the letters today. They do connect to what comes after them. So we make that loop, and then we go on to the next letter. And then when we're done writing that whole word, then we come in and fill in, we put that line down. So we go on to the next letter, and then come back to put that line down. When it's in the middle of a word, we're coming in from a previous letter, and just like the sod and the dot, we kind of backtrack, we go back with that loop, and then down along, and keep going. And then when we're done with the whole word, we put that line in. Now that's kind of ugly right there, I'll do it again. Okay, so we're coming in from a previous letter, and go back with the loop, there we go, that's better. Then along the line again, and keep going to the next letter, and then eventually put that line down. And then finally, when it's at the end, pretty simple. All of the forms look similar. We're coming in from a previous letter, make that line back, trace back along through that line, leave a bit there, just like we did when it's alone, leave a bit past the loop, and then vertical line down right after the loop. Coming in from a previous letter, loop back, and then keep going. Leave a little bit past the loop, and then down right after the loop. So I'll come around and take a look. Okay, so an example or two. Pay attention to how I write this, by the way. See, I'm writing out the skeleton of the word. Now I've put in the dots. Including the dots is that vertical line down. And then I'm going to put in the vowel marks. Okay. So, this means doctor in Arabic. Doctor. Anyone want to try to say this? Good. Everyone. Tabib. 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 Right. Pa-beeb. Right. Good. Okay, since we kind of have limited time, I'll just give that example and we'll try to get through the next letters. So, next, similar to the ta, we have a letter that is like the emphatic version of the val. Hence, it's called the va. I put it in capitals to note that it's emphatic, and the line under it to show that that's all one symbol, the DH. So, everyone after me. Dhaa. Dhaa. Okay, so say dhal, 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 dhal. Now try to say the sound, but think of the tongue filling up more of the mouth inside. Dhaa. Dhaa. Allah. Allah. Right, so as I'm saying that, I'm really feeling the tongue inside. The Allah. Everyone after me. Allah. 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 Right. Okay. Now this is just a ta with a dot on the top. A dot above the loop. So we have that loop here. Vertical line down with a dot under it. On it, sorry. Oh, that's ugly. So same thing all the way through. Okay, so now at the bottom, excuse me, at the bottom, I put in an example, which is, this is a city in the Arab world right here. This is the name of a city in the Arab world. Who can tell me what this is? Good. Everyone after me. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. Often in English, I mean, we call it, the pronunciation sometimes varies in English. Sometimes we call it Abu Dhabi. Often we hear Abu Dhabi. But even the people who live there, because of the influence of the colloquial Arabic, they might pronounce it a little differently. But the most accurate, the most eloquent pronunciation is Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, right? Literally means father of the gazelle. Father of the gazelle. I like that word, gazelle. Dhabi, Dhabi. Anyway, right. Okay. So, any questions about this? You're confused, aren't you?
There's a kasra underneath the ba, and then
right, and then a ya. Right. There's a kasra underneath the ba, and then a ya. Just like how there's a dhamma on the ba and then a waw. That's to show that it's an oo sound and it's an e sound that comes after it. And it doesn't mean that when I write it out, this is going to be okay. Well, we have a dhamma after the ba and then a waw. No, it's not a triple u. It's just a double u, not a w, but a double u. It's just what? Right, exactly. Identifying that it's a vowel as well. It's showing that this is all the same sound that comes after it, right? Because essentially if we didn't put the dhamma or the kasra there, then it could be abau, dhabay. In which case the ya and the waw would both be consonants. Aw and ay. Right, with sukoons over them. Good point. Alright, any questions on the dha? Everyone once again. Ta, dha, dha. Right. Notice that there's a difference, actually even for native Arabic speakers. Often one of the trickiest things in tajweed is distinguishing between the la and the dha. Sometimes native Arabic speakers pronounce these similarly, either both of them like ba, or sometimes both of them like za, or both of them like va. Whereas this is va, and this is law, right? Laud. Closer to an English D than anything else, right? Hence, end of the Fatiha. وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. If we say وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, it means and not the ones remaining, which is kind of, completely changes the meaning. Right. Okay. Similarly, غَيْرَ الْمَغْضُوبِ booby. There's a dad there, not مغضوبي عليهم ولا الضالين. Right. Did anyone take a look at Surah Al-Fatiha, by the way? See the dad there? Yeah? Yeah? Good. Return back to certain things, especially things that we should be reciting over and over again. Things that we should know, because then these will start opening up. You start realizing things. Like I said at the beginning of the course, make sure that there's some kind of Arabic text, preferably a surah of more than 10 verses long, that you return to regularly, so that you can see, oh wow, we went over this letter the other day. Oh, I'm seeing all these different things, I'm noticing all these things, and I can actually start reading the Arabic now. Right? Okay. So, moving on. The next two, very interesting letters. Very kind of tricky letters, but alhamdulillah, it just takes time if we're not used to the sounds. Just a bit of time. Now the next letter is, it's not really similar to much we have in English, and so it's usually transliterated as either this kind of symbol, but that's kind of hard to find on the keyboard, so I typically do it like a backwards apostrophe. This way, and its name is, it's the consonant and then ḥayn after ḥayn. Basically what this consonant is best way I can describe it is a strangling sound. So if you were to be strangled, I mean literally what's going on is that we talked about how the the jim ha kha, the ha happens at the middle of the throat, above the vocal cords. This is the same place, this consonant is happening in the same place. Ha and The difference between da and ta, the sounds T and D in English, we've talked about this before, just like the difference between tha and the, Arabic letters tha and dhal, is that for the dhal, there's vibration going on in the vocal cords, right here. Everyone say that again for me. Tha, put your hand on your throat, say tha, and dha, f, az. Right. That's the difference between the tha and the dhal. Similarly, the difference between the ha and the a. So say ah. Now try to add the vocal cords in there. Make some vibration in here. It comes out as a strangling sound. If someone were to put their fingers and squeeze right here, you'd sound the sound is an It's a tricky sound to get used to, but it's everyone try that. There's pressure going on here as I'm saying it. First I start with an alif, then I go I kind of strangle the sound right in the middle of the throat here, right? Okay, okay. So we'll try that. Go ahead. Okay, okay. Keep working. Try that. Good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. All right, Georgia. Okay. Yeah, keep working. Okay. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah. Really try to strangle the sound there. Yeah. Okay. Good. Finally. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. So the name of this letter is ʿayn. Everyone try to say that for me. ʿayn. 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 Right. So since we don't really have this sound in English, it's often kind of lost for a lot of us. But it's important. It can have can change meaning around completely. Right. So it's important to work on that sound. Always think about working on the sound. It's a very common sound in Arabic. Indeed, the word Arabic or Arab is Arabi. Everyone say Arabi. Arabi. Right. So it's a very important sound in Arabic. The form of it, first, just like how a lot of the ways it's transliterated out is with almost like a little C above the, like a superscript C. It starts with almost like a C on the line there, but then it has a tail that goes under the line, kind of a long tail under the line that way. And the C is it's slanted a bit. See that? My ʿayns aren't so pretty, but alhamdulillah. Now when it's at the beginning of a word, we basically just lose that tail. Lose the tail, so we have that same kind of C looking thing. Now we go on to the next letter. What does this look like, by the way? It looks like a Hamza, yeah. Looks like a Hamza. Actually, the form of the Hamza was actually taken from the ʿayn. Originally, when the Quran was revealed, there was no symbol for Hamza, really, and yet the grammarians came up with it. And one grammarian, I believe it was Al-Khalil, rahimahullah, he said, well, the Hamza is it's almost like an ʿayn, just without that strangling sound. The Hamza happens at the bottom of the throat, ʿayn is at the middle of the throat. So he took this symbol and made that a Hamza. Now when it's in the middle of a word, it gets interesting. So everyone look up here. We come in from a previous letter, then we go up, make a point, and then down again, and then keep going. So almost forms like an upside down triangle here. One more time, we're coming in, go up, make a point there, and then go down. Now we can make a point on the right side too, or we can make it kind of curved. The important thing is that we have a point on the left side. Point there, and then go on like that. Forming almost an upside down triangle there. when it's in the middle of a word. And then finally, when it's at the end of a word, we have this form only with a tail. So everyone watch, we're coming in from a previous letter, make that point, then go down and then continue on for a tail there. Yeah, question? Good question. Is ʿayn emphatic? No, it's not. Everyone say again, ā. So the sound, here we go. Ā. Right, though we say, right. Often when you hear the sound of the name of the letter, often people say like ʿayn, as if it's emphatic, but the most correct way to pronounce the name of the letter is ʿayn. Though a lot of native Arabic speakers say ʿayn. Right, but it's not emphatic. Right. The tongue, for all the emphatic letters, the tongue is filling up the mouth, and that's what's making them emphatic. That's what's affecting the quality of the vowels around it. And so for the ʿayn, the tongue is just kind of sitting down. And if this is the tongue, so here's the throat. So this is the base of the tongue right here, going down into the throat. The tongue is actually it's going like that. It's moving against the back of the throat. So it's staying down. Whereas the ḥā actually happens at the top of the throat, and in order to do that, the tongue kind of needs to go back like that, so it's ending up kind of filling the whole mouth. ḥā, hence the ḥā is emphatic. Now, ḥā, just like how we talked about difference between ha and ʿayn, tha and dhal, ta and dal, one without the vocal cords, one with the vocal cords. Now that's the same, that's the difference now between ḥā and our next letter, ghayn. Usually transliterated as GH. So this one is emphatic. And a way to describe the sound, the best way that I've come across is a goggling sound. So everyone pretend like you're goggling. Right, actually one of the best ways to practice pronouncing this letter is actually to take some water and start goggling with it and then feel, okay, I have to make that sound. Right, the sound is everyone try that for me. Ghayn. Okay, yeah, and often it's hard to do with a sore throat too. Sometimes it can wear your throat out when you're getting used to pronouncing this letter. Right, but once again, common and an important letter. So, end of Surah Al-Fatiha, we have two of them. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ, right? غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ. That's what's going on. It's a goggling sound there at the top of the throat. So everyone say ḥā. Now you're adding some vibration to it when you say that. ḥā. Now ghā. Right. We've already pretty much gone over the way to write this. It's an ʿayn with a dot on it. There we go. Okay, so two examples, one for the ʿayn, one for the ghayn. Okay? First of all, this is an Arab man. Arab. It's close for the word for the language Arabic, but there are a few more things we have to learn before we get to that word. How do we say this? Good. Arabi. Notice on the notice the ya has a shadda on it. It's a consonant here. Arabi. We'll do Isha in like 15 minutes. That's okay. 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 Now, this is an important city in the Arab world. Who can tell me what city this is? Right here. Good. Baghdad. Good. Right. Capital of Al-Iraq. No, notice that in Arabic too, Iraq begins with an ʿayn. Al-Iraq. Now I'm not going to write that because we haven't learned all the letters in that word, but that's how it is. Okay. Any questions about this? Okay. So finally, we have one extra symbol to go over. Not really a letter, kind of a letter, but not really. Its name is Taa marbuuṭah. Say that for me. Taa marbuuṭah. Taa marbuuṭah. Literally, it means like a connected ta or a bundled up ta. We've already seen the ta, first letter in the Arabic alphabet. This letter is basically, it's the combination between a it's the combination between a ta and a letter that we haven't seen yet, which we'll get to soon inshallah, which is the ha. The reason for this is because sometimes it's pronounced like a t, and other times it's pronounced like a ha. When there is a vowel, when we're pronouncing a vowel on it, when we pronounce a vowel on this letter, it's pronounced as a ta. But when there's no vowel that we're pronouncing, it's pronounced like a ha. So it's a combination of two different letters in Arabic, and therefore it's not really its own letter. It's a symbol. Hence, I have two lines here. One is the alone line. One is the end of a word line. So this symbol only comes at the end of a word, only ever at the end of the word, and it has a special meaning. Almost always it means, it's a feminine marker. It means that this thing that the word is describing is describing something female. So in Arabic, words have to have genders, not just if we're talking about people or things with genders, but wa alaikum salam. Oh, we'll start Isha in about 10 minutes, inshallah. That's okay. Wa alaikum assalam. So Arabic is a gendered language. Words are either masculine or feminine. So feminine words, if we see the taa marbuuṭah at the end of a word, it means this word is feminine, almost always. There are some exceptions, but almost always this word is feminine, and it's generally a feminine marker. Feminine marker. Okay, so how does it look? It's a combination between the ha and the ta. Basically, it's a ha with 2 dots. So even though we haven't learnt the ha, this is what the ha looks like alone. It's just basically a circle that we start at the top. Circle like that. So when there's no letter connecting before the taa marbuuṭah, it looks like this. And it has 2 dots on the top. That's how it looks. Like a circle with 2 dots on the top. And when it's connected to a letter that comes before it, that's when, see, we're coming in from a previous letter, and we go up and then make a loop above the line with 2 dots on it. I'll do that one more time. Go up, then make a loop, and the whole thing is above the line a bit. Not really on the line, but above it. With 2 dots. That's if there's a letter that's connecting to it before it, yeah. But there'll always be a letter before this because it happens only at the end of a word. That I'm writing anytime. This category is basically it also works for when the letter that comes before it isn't connecting to it, and there's nothing after it. So, for example, if we have alif ghayn, then the ghayn is going to be written like that, even though there's a letter before it. Or say dal ʿayn. We have the ʿayn written in its alone form because the dal isn't connecting to the ʿayn. So, one more final thing. This letter, or this symbol, it always has a fatha before it. Every single time we see it, it always has a fatha before it. Always fatha before it. And so, in conclusion, whenever you see this symbol, this ha with 2 dots on it, it's either if we're not saying a vowel on it, after it, it's going to be pronounced as ah. Ah. Everyone say for me, ah. Ah. If there is a vowel on it, so say we have here, we're putting a dhamma on here, it becomes at. So atu. Right? Everyone say atu. 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 Okay. So, example. Here we had this word here. What does this word mean again? Anyone remember? Doctor, right. Tabib. Everyone say for me. Tabib. Tabib. Now, female doctor would be this. Everyone see this? I don't have to write the fatha on the ba because I know every time you see a taa marbuuṭah, there's always going to be a fatha before it. But I can, just because we're learning tabiba, right? So everyone say this for me. طبيبة. طبيبة. Notice it's not just a fatha, but it's an sound. We have a little sound, right? طبيبة. طبيبة. Right, but if I were to put, say, a kasra on it, or below it, what does this become? Good. طبيبتي. Everyone after me. طبيبتي. طبيبتي. Okay. Now, how do we say an Arab woman? We talked about how to say Arab man. How about Arab woman? Arabiyya. Right. Here we go. Arabiyya. Arabiyya. Sorry, those two are kind of close together. Oops. Everyone see that? Arabiyya. Everyone say after me. Arabiyya. Arabiyya. Now if I put, say, another fatha after this, now what does it become? Anyone? A fatha on top of the ta marbuuṭah? Fatha. Good. Arabiyyata. Good. Arabiyyata. Sorry, there's a shadda here. Arabiyyata. Arabiyyata. Good, good. So any questions about this? No? Okay. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish the homework and print it off for tonight. I'll be sending that out probably tomorrow, at some point tomorrow, inshallah. And then of course you have 2 weeks to do it now, because the next class will be 2 weeks from today, inshallah. We're taking 2 Sundays off as kind of a spring break. And so the next class, as printed on the syllabus, will be the 4th of April, insha'Allah ta'ala. So Wednesday, the 4th of April. I'll see you next, insha'Allah. For those who prefer to take the homework sheet from me, from class, in a physical copy, is there anyone who would need that, who wouldn't be able to print it out during this time? In which case I'll bring it here in the next day or two and leave it somewhere at Lighthouse. Is there anyone who needs me to print it off and leave it here? Okay, in that case it'll be emailed out, inshallah. Okay, so just to conclude, just another 2 minutes, inshallah. It's okay? Okay. Yes, question? Sorry? Good question. Can you erase the board when you're done? Good question. Right. Yeah, well, remember, I'm thinking about adab. Right, we don't want to let the Ustadh, as much as possible, we don't want to let the Ustadh erase his own board or her own board. Right, good. But also to conclude, a quick note. Alhamdulillah, we're all continuing. I did want to read a full hadith. We don't really have time for that though, because we want to pray Isha and then get going. But I'll just give you the gist of it. The one who reads the Quran with difficulty gets double reward. So even if we think that we're taking more time, or we're never going to get there, we're wasting our time because there's so much to think about in terms of Arabic. We know that if we're struggling with the Quran, our reward is actually greater. So even though other people might be able to get through the Quran faster, read Arabic faster, the very fact that you're trying and struggling, Allah sees that and rewards that accordingly, rewards according to the struggle. As we've said before in a previous class, الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. That those who strive in us, as in Allah is speaking here, those who strive in us, we will guide to our paths. So as long as we're keeping up these things, and even though it might seem hard, a lot of material, as long as we're keeping it up, Allah will take care of the rest of the way, inshallah. Right. Okay. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.